The Midnight Ambush, plunging into the Atlantic's fury. March 4, 1943, 0200 hours. The North Atlantic, 500 miles west of Ireland, where the ocean turns black as ink under a moonless sky. Salt spray lashes the conning tower of U-255, a Type VIIC U-boat slicing through swells like a predator in the deep. Kapitänleutnant Reinhard Rech wipes the binoculars, his breath fogging in the biting cold, as the diesel engines thrum a low growl beneath him. The air reeks of oil and brine, and every wave crashes with the force of a warning: stay hidden, or die. Lookouts strain against the darkness, their eyes piercing the void for silhouettes. There, a flicker on the horizon. Convoy HX-229, lumbering eastward like a herd of wounded beasts, laden with tanks, fuel, and food for Britain's starving war machine. Rech's pulse quickens. Wolf pack alert, he mutters into the radio, his voice steady but laced with the thrill of the hunt. Encrypted signals zip through the ether via Enigma, that unbreakable marvel of German engineering, rotors clicking in perfect secrecy, coordinating the pack's deadly embrace. Below decks, the crew huddles in the claustrophobic tube of steel, sweat beating on foreheads despite the chill seeping through the hull. Torpedoes gleam in their racks, ready to unleash hell. Fire tubes 1 and 2. Rech barks as the boat surges forward, hydrophones echoing the distant churn of propellers. The eel-like projectiles streak out, bubbles trailing in their wake. Seconds stretch into eternity. Then, boom, a Liberty ship erupts in flame, its hull splitting like overripe fruit, screams lost to the wind as men plunge into the freezing abyss. You can almost feel it, the icy grip of the water, pulling survivors under, their life vests bobbing like futile prayers. Rech watches from the bridge, a ghost of a smile cracking his salt-crusted lips. Another kill for the fatherland. Admiral Karl Donitz's wolf packs have ruled these waters since the war's dawn, sinking over 3,000 Allied vessels, choking the lifeline to Europe. Enigma is their shield, their sword, messages twisted into gibberish that no enemy could unravel. Or so they believe, but tonight, something's off. The convoy scatters not in panic, but with eerie precision, as if warned by invisible eyes. Escorts, those pesky destroyers, wheel about, depth charges rumbling like thunder from the deep. U-255 dives, alarms blaring, the hull creaking under pressure as the boat plummets to 200 meters. Silent running, Rech whispers, the crew frozen in place, hearts pounding against ribs. Explosions rock the sea above, shockwaves slamming like hammers on an anvil. Water trickles from a valve, a man stifles a cough. How did they know? Rech wonders, chalking it up to luck, or perhaps a traitor in Berlin. He doesn't know the truth yet, that far across the channel, in a nondescript English estate, minds sharper than any blade are picking apart his secrets. The Enigma's veil is tearing, thread by thread. As the depth charges fade and U-255 surfaces into the storm-tossed night, Rech signals the pack, regroup, strike again. But in the coming months, the ambushes will falter, the wolves turning to prey. What if the unbreakable code isn't? The Atlantic's graveyard is about to claim new victims, N.D. The hunters will become the hunted. The silent war, shadows behind the wires. Bletchley Park, Buckinghamshire, England. Late 1942. Dawn creeps gray and damp across the estate's manicured lawns, but inside the wooden huts, the war never sleeps. Hut 8 hums with the low buzz of machines and the quiet desperation of men who know the fate of thousands hangs on their next guess. Alan Turing paces between towering racks of the bomb, row after row of polished steel drums, each mimicking an Enigma rotor, spinning in eerie mechanical ballet. The air smells of hot oil, cigarette smoke, and overheated wiring. Turing's fingers drum an absent rhythm on the table, his eyes, red-rimmed from 48 hours without sleep, flick across the latest intercepted traffic. Another weather report, mutters Gordon Welchman, peering over his shoulder. Same settings as yesterday. They're getting sloppy, or arrogant. Turing stops. A faint smile touches his lips, the first in days. Arrogant is good. Arrogant means patterns. Across the room, young Wrens, Women's Royal Naval Service, work in focused silence, their fingers flying over typewriters, transcribing the endless stream of Morse that pours in from Y service intercept stations scattered along the coast. Every night, German operators tap out messages in 5-letter groups, confident that Enigma's 158 quintillion possible settings render them invisible. They are wrong. The breakthrough had come slowly, painfully. Polish mathematicians had cracked the early Enigma years before, smuggling their secrets out in suitcases across Europe's darkening borders. But the Germans kept adding complexity, more rotors, plugboard connections, naval keys that changed every day. By 1941, the Atlantic was bleeding again, convoys vanished almost before they sailed. Then came the gift from the sea. February 1941, HMS Obriatia and the destroyer Wolverine close on U-110, depth charges forcing the boat to the surface. Kapitänleutnant Fritz Julius Lemp orders scuttling charges set, but the British boarding party is faster. They seize the cipher books, the Enigma machine itself, still warm from use, and drag it back through the waves. Lemp goes down with his boat, believing the secret safe. It is not. That single capture, combined with Turing's relentless mathematics, gives the codebreakers the foothold they need. The bomb is born. Not magic, but brute force logic wrapped in electrical ingenuity. Thousands of possibilities tested in minutes instead of centuries. Every day, the team races the clock, decipher the day's key before the next convoy sails. You can almost hear it, the clatter of the bomb as it locks onto the right setting, the sudden hush when the first clear German text appears on the Typex machine. Lieutenant zur See, weather report, position, and then the real prize, orders to the wolf packs. Rendezvous points, attack coordinates, names of targets. By early 1943, the veil is thinning. Convoys begin to alter course just enough, 10 degrees here, a zigzag there, to slip through the net. Donitz's headquarters in Berlin grows frantic. Why do they evade us? He demands of his staff. Is there a traitor? The answer is far more humiliating. The unbreakable code has been broken, not by treachery, but by minds that refuse to accept the impossible. In HUD 8, they call the intelligence, Ultra. It is the most closely guarded secret of the war. Even Churchill, who reads the decrypts every morning over breakfast, refers to them only as golden eggs. One careless word, and the Germans will change the system forever. But the eggs keep coming, and the wolves are beginning to starve. As spring of 1943 arrives, Donitz orders his boats to press the attack harder. More U-boats, more aggressive tactics. The Battle of the Atlantic reaches its savage climax. Yet something has shifted in the dark water. The hunters feel it, a growing unease, like prey sensing the noose tightening. They don't know the reason yet, but soon, they will. Black May, the wolves fall silent. May 1943, the North Atlantic, once the unchallenged domain of the Grey Wolves, now feels different. The sea is calmer, almost mocking, as U-954 slices through the swells under the command of Kapitänleutnant Odo Lowe. The boat is young, the crew greener than most, but the orders from Donitz are clear: press the attack, find the convoys, sink them. Among the men below decks is a 21-year-old lieutenant, Peter Donitz, the Grand Admiral's son, serving as a watch officer, eager to prove himself in the family tradition. The hydrophones pick up the steady throb of propellers. Convoy South Carolina 130, a fat prize of merchants and tankers bound for Britain. Lowe smiles in the red-lit control room. All ahead flank, surface attack. The boat bursts through the waves, deck gun manned, torpedoes ready. But something is wrong. The convoy is already zigzagging sharply, escorts darting like hounds on a scent. No radio chatter from other wolves confirms the sighting, only silence on the Enigma net. Depth charges bloom around them before they can close. The first pattern rocks U-954 like a hammer blow, lights flickering, men thrown against bulkheads. Emergency blow, Lowe shouts, but the boat is already flooding forward. In the conning tower, Peter Donitz clings to the ladder as water surges up the hatch. Explosions tear through the pressure hull. The sea claims them all, 43 men gone in minutes, including the boy whose father commands the entire U-boat fleet. In Berlin, Donitz receives the report. His face hardens. Another boat lost, then another, and another. May has become a slaughter. 43 U-boats sunk, more than a quarter of the operational force, while Allied losses plummet to just 34 ships in the Atlantic. The numbers scream betrayal. How are the convoys slipping through the nets? How do the escorts appear exactly where the packs gather? Donitz paces his headquarters, refusing to voice the unthinkable at first. Enigma is unbreakable. The mathematicians in Berlin swear it. Yet the evidence mounts. Convoys rerouted at the last moment, ambushes turned into traps, wolf packs hunted instead of hunting. You can almost see the strain in his eyes, the man who built the U-boat arm, who promised to strangle Britain, now watching his creation bleed out. Survivors from other boats whisper of ghost escorts, of destroyers that know their positions before they surface. One commander, hauled from the water after his boat is smashed by a creeping attack, swears the enemy waited in silence, then struck without warning. No radar ping, no ASDIC sweep, just death from above and below. The Bay of Biscay becomes a killing ground. RAF liberators with new centimetric radar sweep low, catching U-boats on the surface before Mattox can scream a warning. Donitz orders them to fight back, arm the boats with flak guns, stay surfaced and shoot it out. It is suicide. The flak boats become easy targets, riddled and sinking. Air power, combined with hunter-killer groups, escort carriers like HMS Biter launching Avengers, turns the transit to the Atlantic into a gauntlet of fire. By the 24th of May, the tally is unbearable. Donitz sits at his desk, the map of the Atlantic marked with red crosses where his boats once prowled. He lifts the phone. Withdraw all U-boats from the North Atlantic, he orders, voice flat with defeat. Regroup. Re-equip. We have lost the Battle of the Atlantic. The wolves slink away, leaving the sea to the convoys. For the first time in years, merchant ships steam unmolested, their holds full of tanks, planes, and men bound for the invasion that will come. The silent victory at Bletchley Park, the bombs' relentless clicking, has done what no fleet could: starved the Reich, broken the blockade, and opened the road to Europe. But the war is not over. The U-boats will return, faster, deadlier, with new tricks. The question lingers in the empty radio room at Kerneval: can they ever reclaim the dark waters? The reckoning. Donitz faces the unthinkable. Kerneval, Brittany, France. Late May 1943. The concrete bunker that serves as Befehlshaber der U-boot headquarters sits squat and gray against the Atlantic cliffs, its thick walls muffling the crash of waves far below. Inside the map room, fluorescent lights buzz overhead. A huge chart of the North Atlantic dominates one wall, studded with colored pins: green for convoys, red for U-boats still afloat, black for those lost. Grand Admiral Karl Donitz stands before it, hands clasped behind his back, uniform impeccable despite the sleepless nights. His face is carved from stone, but the eyes betray him, hollow, almost haunted. The room is silent except for the soft click of a staff officer updating the board. Another pin shifts from red to black. U-954. His son's boat. He has not spoken of it. No one dares mention the name. But the loss is there, a wound that bleeds into every decision. Donitz turns slowly. Report, he says, voice low, controlled. Captain Zur Seagoat, his chief of staff, steps forward. 43 boats lost this month, Herr Grossadmiral. 25% of frontline strength. Tonnage sunk, barely 200,000 tons. The lowest since 1940. A murmur ripples through the assembled officers. Donitz raises a hand. Silence returns instantly. He steps closer to the chart. His finger traces the empty corridor where the wolfpacks once gathered, now a graveyard of scattered black pins. How? The question is almost whispered, yet it carries the weight of command. How do they know? Goat hesitates. The theories have been aired in hushed tones for weeks. New radar, improved direction finding, air reconnaissance, even treason. But none fully explain the precision. Convoys change course hours before the pack can form. Escorts appear from nowhere, guided by intelligence no hydrophone or lookout could provide. Donitz's gaze moves to the small safe in the corner, where the daily Enigma key settings are locked away. He has trusted that machine with the lives of his men, with the entire strategy of the war at sea. The Kriegsmarine's cryptographers insist it is still secure, mathematically impregnable, they say. Yet the evidence screams otherwise. He turns to the room. I want every operator, every engineer, every signals expert questioned again. If there is a flaw, we will find it. If there is betrayal, we will root it out. But we will not surrender the Atlantic without proof. The officers nod, but the doubt is palpable. They have seen the numbers. They have read the survivors' reports, boats hunted with uncanny knowledge, depth charges dropped exactly where the boat must surface, liberators appearing over the horizon the instant a U-boat breaks the waves. Donitz walks to the window slit, staring out at the dark sea. He knows the truth in his bones, even if he cannot yet name it. The Allies have pierced the veil. The Enigma is compromised. Every message sent since the breakthrough has been a gift to the enemy. You can almost feel the moment, the slow collapse of certainty, the realization that the most brilliant weapon of the war has been turned against its creators. The Wolfpacks were never defeated by superior ships or braver men. They were defeated by mathematics, by quiet men in wooden huts, by machines that spun in the night while the world slept. Donitz exhales. Withdraw all boats to the south and west. We will regroup, rearm, introduce new ciphers. The battle is not lost, only changed. But the men in the room know better. The golden years of the U-boat war, the happy time, are over. The tide has turned, not with a roar of guns, but with the soft click of rotors in a distant room. And across the channel, in the lamplit huts of Bletchley Park, the codebreakers keep working. They will not celebrate. They cannot speak of what they have done. But every decrypted signal, every rerouted convoy, every U-boat sent to the bottom, is another step toward the day Allied boots will touch the beaches of France. The reckoning has come, and the wolves will never hunt the same way again. The last hunt, triumph in the cost of silence. June 1944, the English Channel, just before dawn. The sky is the color of bruised steel, the sea a restless sheet of lead. On the bridge of HMS Duncan, a tribal-class destroyer leading Escort Group 7, Commander Peter Greddon grips the rail, salt wind whipping his face. Below him, the hunter-killer group steams in tight formation, 2 sloops, 3 corvettes, and the small escort carrier HMS Narana, whose swordfish biplanes are already warming engines on the flight deck. They are not patrolling, they are hunting. Ultra-intelligence has arrived in the night, fresh decrypts from Bletchley Park. A wolf pack of 9 U-boats is forming to intercept the massive follow-up convoys feeding the Normandy beachhead. The positions are precise, almost insultingly so: grid squares, course, speed, even the expected time of first contact. Greddon has the coordinates memorized. The enemy does not know he is coming. You can almost taste the tension on the bridge, the low thrum of engines, the soft crackle of ASDIC pings, the crew moving with the quiet efficiency of men who have done this before and know the stakes are higher than ever. D-Day is only days old. Every ton of fuel, every crate of ammunition, every soldier crossing the channel depends on these waters remaining open. At 0437 hours, the first contact. ASDIC operator's voice cuts through the intercom. Contact, bearing green 040, range 4,000 yards. Definitely submarine. Greddon's order is calm, almost gentle. Increase to 25 knots. All hands to action stations. The group wheels like a pack of wolves of its own. Narana turns into wind. Her first swordfish rumbles down the deck and lifts into the gray morning, depth charges slung beneath stubby wings. On Duncan's quarterdeck, depth charge crews stand ready, faces set. They know what comes next. The U-boat, U-767, commanded by Kapitänleutnant Walter Schultz, surfaces briefly, desperate for air after a long submerged run. Mistake. The swordfish spots the telltale feather of wake. 2 depth charges drop in a perfect straddle. The sea erupts. U-767 heels violently, then begins to sink by the bow. Schultz orders abandon ship. 30 men make it into the water before the boat takes its final plunge. One by one, the wolf pack is torn apart. Ultra-guided attacks claim U-333, U-989, U-270, each boat hunted with surgical precision. Survivors are pulled from the oil-slick water, dazed, some weeping openly. They speak of the same disbelief. How did you know? How could you possibly know? The British sailors offer no answer. They cannot. The secret of Ultra is guarded more tightly than any battle plan. Even the men who fight the war at sea are kept in the dark. They accept it as good fortune, superior radar, luck. They do not know that every move has been foretold by men who never leave their huts. By the end of the month, the U-boat arm is a shadow of itself. Of the 9 boats that sortied against the invasion convoys, 7 are on the bottom, their crews either dead or prisoners. The channel is open. Supplies pour across in an unbroken river of steel and men. Back in Berlin, Donat stands in the map room once more. The board is now a field of black pins. He knows. He has known for months, though he will never admit it publicly. The Enigma has betrayed them, not through flaw or treason, but because human ingenuity found the crack in the armor no one thought existed. He issues no dramatic order. There is no final speech. He simply closes the folder on his desk and looks out at the sea that once belonged to him. The Battle of the Atlantic is over. The wolves have been broken. Yet the silence endures. The men of Bletchley Park return to their machines, still deciphering, still guiding, still winning in the shadows. They will carry the secret to their graves, some for decades, because the war is not yet finished, and the cost of one careless word could unravel everything. The Atlantic is quiet now. Convoys sail under open skies. And somewhere beneath the waves, the ghosts of the gray wolves drift in the dark, wondering how the unbreakable was broken. The Unseen Victory, Legacy of the Silent War. Bletchley Park, Buckinghamshire. Summer 1945, the war in Europe has ended. The huts that once buzzed with urgency now carry a strange hush. Papers are being boxed, machines powered down, bomb drums stilled for the first time in years. Alan Turing walks the gravel paths alone, hands in pockets, staring at the empty lawns where young men and women once hurried between buildings with the weight of the world on their shoulders.